Hello everyone, Neo here once again, and yes, I'm back with yet another Corsair Dominator Titanium DDR5 memory review. This time, it's the DDR5 6000 CL30 kit, but specifically the 6000 Z30 SKU, which is rather important. And this is because it's the most impressive titanium kit I've had the pleasure of using up until now. But before any of that, price-wise, you're looking at a fairly expensive memory kit, particularly for DDR5 6000 at $3,599 from Woodware or $168 from Amazon. This is especially expensive when compared to the last 8-die-based memory kit of the same capacity I reviewed, which was fairly impressive in its own right, by the way. That being said, Corsair's Dominator Titanium memory is premium DRAM, which extends past the technical limits and into the usability, reliability, aesthetics, and build quality. I mean, everything about this memory is premium. From packaging to the PCB, it's all high-end. And of course, the IC sorting for the range is exceptional, as this kit proved. So much so that at this price, I'm still recommending this above any other 32GB kit I've used to date. Looks aside, I remain amazed by just how capable this memory is. While it's true that in general, quality 8-die based memory kits have massive headroom for tuning, this particular kit, rated at only CL30 DDR5 6000, is exceptional even in all of that. Rated at just 1.4 volts for XMP and Expo, I was able to instantly set DDR5 8000 CL38 at default voltage. That's 1000 MHz or 1 GHz without raising the factory operating voltage. And as you can see, the operating temperatures remained cool even after hours of Karu RAM test. Is that how you say it? Anyway, if that isn't enough, however, the same 1.4 volts carried the DRAM kit all the way to DDR5 8600 CL40, where an even longer test time of Karu RAM test showed that the memory never exceeded 44 degrees. While there are a number of DDR5 8600 memory kits on the market, none of them are sold at such a low voltage. All of them are 1.45 volts and some even 1.5 volts, I can imagine. The capability of this memory to do this would easily cement it as the best overclocking DDR5 memory kit I've ever used. However, adding just 50 millivolts, which I think is still safe, allowed the memory to do DDR5 8600 CL38, which is what in the benchmarks you'll see shortly. And since we are talking about how far the memory will go here, I was also interested to see how far this memory would scale at 1.5 volts, which is about the maximum I'm willing to use for a system that's going to be used for work and games where stability over extended hours of load is a must. To this end, I was able to do what has thus far been impossible for any other memory kit I've used to date. DDR5 7600 CL32 was possible as well, which should be good news for those who don't have boards that for some reason or another are not able to reach the higher frequencies, or for whatever particular reason are simply not interested in high frequencies but want tighter timings. That being said, I tested at DDR5 8600 CL38 using 1.45 volts and at DDR5 8000 CL34 using 1.5 volts, not counting the XMP setting, of course. I believe that these are the viable options for users of both the Z790 platform, but more specifically for the Z890 users, and of course for the Z890 Apex, which is the board that I used to test this memory. Either way, I've spoken long enough about this memory. Let's just get on with the benchmarks and the performance so you can see for yourself. Testing, as usual, was done on the Core 7 Ultra 265K, cooled by the ROG Ryujin 3 ARGB 360 Extreme, on the ROG Maximus Z890 Apex, and the GPU of choice was the ROG Strix GeForce RTX 4080, all of which was powered by the Corsair HX1500i ATX 3.1 PSU. As usual, first is IDA64 memory benchmark. From XMP to 8600 CL38, you can increase copy bandwidth by up to 42%, a staggering amount for just 50 millivolts more. Latency improves as well, but only about 10%, from 72 to 65 nanoseconds. In gaming, the performance gains translate into about a 5% FPS increase between XMP and DDR5 8000 CL34. Not unexpected, where Hitman prefers better latency over outright memory bandwidth. Just as in Forza Horizon 5, where we see a 5% performance gain in the lowest 1 percentile when comparing XMP and DDR5 8000 CL34. Marvel Spider-Man 2 also sees a 5% performance gain between XMP and DDR5 8000 CL34. The DDR5 8600 setting isn't far behind actually, but as expected, just can't match the CL34 8000 overclock. Finally, we have Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which shows another 5% increase in performance between XMP and DDR5 8600 and DDR5 8000. In this benchmark, the two best settings deliver almost identical performance. We then move on to the synthetic benchmarks. We start with Geekbench 6, which again places the CL34 8000 setting at the top, with an 8% improvement over XMP. The older Geekbench 3 shows the 8000 and 8600 setting being almost tied with each other, delivering over 26% better numbers than XMP. We then have the staple SuperPi 32M on the other hand, showing very little difference between XMP and the OC settings, with a 1.5% improvement from the overclock at best. V-Ray 6 is next, which shows a 4% performance improvement from XMP to DDR5 8000, which is unexpected as I thought the benchmark would respond better to the bandwidth advantage of the DDR5 8600 setting. Finally, we have handbrake encoding. Between XMP and the best DDR5 8000 CL34 setting, we see an encode reduction time of just 2 seconds. Not much, but a difference of just 2% in encoding times. With the benchmarks done, you can clearly see for yourself that the Dominator Titanium kit is nothing short of incredible. This very same specification exists in the Vengeance range, but those ICs are not hand-sorted like the ones on the Titanium series are. As such, it would be unwise to buy the Vengeance RGB memory with the same timings and expect the same OC headroom. I'll also stress that you should make sure that you get the Z30 kits and not the C31, as I can't speak to how far that one will go. Finally, it can't be overstated just how versatile this memory is. Despite the DDR5 8000 CL34 setting delivering the best performance on paper, I'm still partial to the DDR5 8600 CL38 setting. Besides it using lower operating voltage of just 1.45 volts, it is by and large identical in real-world performance with the CL34 8000 setting. I guess this speaks to the Dominator Titanium kit being very accommodating for all platforms and doing it in style as well. So when it comes to premium looks, performance and materials, I'd wager, at least according to me, that no other memory kit on the market from any vendor does it like the Dominator Titanium memory does. For what this particular SKU was able to do, I think the premium price is more than justified. Anyway, with that said, this was a short one, but let me know your experience with this kit or any other Corsair Dominator Titanium memory in general. But either way, until the next time, please take great care of yourselves and I'll see you on the flip side. Peace!